So tell me your name and where you're from.
Kristina, Toadvine Vanmeter, and we are from Salisbury, Maryland.
Okay. And who is we?
Myself and my children, Julia, and my son, Ben.
Okay. So tell me your loved one's name.
My husband was Forrest Daniel Vanmeter. We called him Dan.
Okay. So tell me about Dan.
Dan was a quiet but strong individual. He was a dedicated and loyal father, brother, son. He was a friend to many. He was a loyal and honorable person. He was a police officer for 16 plus years, and he and I were married and together for 20 years.
Okay. When and how did Dan pass away?
Dan was diagnosed August 1st, 2017 with stage 4 colorectal cancer. He was only 44 years old. He was too young for a screening that wasn't advised or suggested at the time until age 50. He didn't have the typical symptoms or signs. He had back pain, but he was a police officer, and so he was diagnosed with an aggressive stage 4 colorectal cancer and passed away just a couple months ago on July 2nd, 2018.
What made you decide to honor Dan by having his ashes launched into space?
Dan loved space. Dan loved anything Star Wars related.
Yeah, and he just loved like watching Star Wars, and he would like watch every single movie that they have, and like anything related to space.
Yes, he loved aliens. He loved Marvel Universe, science fiction. What else?
Space and the planets.
Yes. So we thought what a better way to honor him than to send him out to space. From Here to Eternity was a song he sang to me when we first met, and it meant a lot to us. And so it was just fitting to do something completely different. And when I found this opportunity to honor your loved one by sending their remains out to space, it just seemed perfect.
Okay.
Something that we could honor Daddy with.
How has life been different since Daddy died?
And tough.
And like it was like quick, and like we didn't know that it was like gonna happen, and like
our life was rewritten just like last year. Julia had her first daddy-daughter dance a year ago last night, and it was her last daddy-daughter dance, and so it's not fair, and he still had a life to live, and there's a big hole. So life's been rewritten for us, but we are going to move on. Yeah, we're going to move on in the spirit that Daddy would want, right? Yeah. So this send off is kind of a symbolic for us moving on and beyond, just as he will.
Okay. So after having to have gone through the process of making the memorial plans for Dan and the funeral process, and now working with Celestis for this type of memorial, have you given any consideration to how it is that you want to be remembered or memorialized?
I really, I haven't, and I wasn't sure I could answer that particular question, but I think that the biggest thing is to be surrounded by your family and your friends, and to honor them, and so you can honor their spirit. And for me, it was really throughout the whole process and his journey of colorectal cancer, it was really just trying to find those happy moments. Even in the dying process, it was 2 weeks, and it was very, very difficult. It was the most difficult 2 weeks of our life. And I tried to find special moments with him and the kids. So that they remember him, and that the dying process wasn't all terrible, that we actually had some really happy moments. Like we, the week that he was in hospice, did a family hand casting, and it was our last project together. And the hospice nurses, right, Ben, helped us. And that was pretty cool. And we have a hand cast of all of our hands together. And it was like, you know, just things like that. And then something like this, to come all the way out to New Mexico and experience such beauty and do something like this to honor them will be something I hope that they'll remember.
After the project of the hand thing, when we were taking the molding thing off and it was already good, it took us like an hour, but out of that hour, I was like squishing it and like breaking pieces apart because I like slime. It was kind of like hard, weird slime. Yeah, it did.
Nice.
One of her coworkers.
Well, thank you guys so much for this interview.